So Ray say apparently the design is literally based off of a Korean porn video. Freaky Moto.
Freaky Moto!
As if we needed to know that he was just a pro gooner. Hello and welcome to another episode of Trash Taste. I'm your host for today, Gant. Joining me once again are the boys. And today we are going to be asking which decade is superior.
Why do you sound
I don't
like
know.
You sound like me when I'm patting out my word count. What is this?
I'm trying to bring the
Bro's
energy
got the
in.
double line break in his
I'm trying to bring the energy in. We got a 2-hour podcast
like every
to go
week.
through.
Like every week, baby.
Wow, you're not excited?
every
I'm
week.
pumped. I'm excited to just tell you about what I like.
Yeah. I mean, we get to talk about what we like. So, we had an episode, I think, I can't remember when it aired. It was last year. It definitely was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where we basically compared old versus new. And I don't think we able to do it as much justice as we wanted to.
I think it was 2005 versus 2025, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to actually, have some kind of like an actual definitive list of what are the actual most popular, maybe most top rated stuff of each decade. Because I think a popular conversation is, which decade is the best for X thing or X media.
A retrospective comparison, if you will.
Yes. Have you seen that recent meme where it's like, it's everyone reminiscing over 2016?
Yeah, I did a post about it.
You did a post about it?
I did a post about it on my Instagram.
Where you post a picture of yourself 2016.
Or just post pictures of what you were doing in 2016.
Yeah.
I knew it was a long time ago because the first picture I saw was of me at the top of Shibuya Sky dabbing.
Well, it's because the meme in 2016 was that this was like the worst year of all time.
Yeah.
And so people are looking back.
We said that back then?
We said
that back then.
Man, we are so dumb. So dumb.
That is the exact point of the meme where it's
really
just like,
thought it couldn't get worse than dabbing. We thought dabbing was like the worst.
We dabbed, then Harambe died that year.
Was pretty bad.
That was pretty bad.
To be fair, that was the year when everything started to change.
Yeah, it was.
Harambe's death was a turning point in global events.
That was a canon event there. My God.
That was okay.
Yeah.
That would be like the third Spider-Verse movie. It's like, don't save Harambe, Spider-Man. It's a canon event.
Can't believe it's already been 10 years since he's gone.
Yeah, but so what we have is a bunch of top 10 lists from different pieces of media, anime, gaming, movies, whatever. And we are going to compare, not just a random assortment, but the heavyweights of each and every decade to see which decade is actually superior.
The decade-defying works.
Yeah, the decade-defining works.
We'll be doing movies, games, but we'll start with anime.
Yeah, let's start with
of
anime.
course, because we're an anime podcast.
Are we?
Yes, that's
Somewhat.
that's what the marketing says.
Fair enough.
That's what we tell our sponsors.
That's what Spotify thinks. So that's what's important for us.
So for the people who are wondering, because a lot of the times when you get these lists, where have they come from?
Yes.
Specifically with the anime one, we decided to go with the r/animes.
Oh, yeah, it's the most trusted source on the internet. r/anime.
Reddit users' favorite anime. I mean, they have the highest and most finest taste in media.
Yes.
As they are the most, eloquent.
Yes,
sure.
So I do think it's a much more helpful list than opposed to like an IGN list, which is like one guy who had to submit an article to meet his criteria. So I think it's actually a solid pool to pick from.
Yep.
Yes. So these are the most voted and the top rated shows of the 1990s and movies.
Yep.
And in the 90s kids, we have at number 1, Neon Genesis Evangelion,
That's
Cowboy
not surprising.
Bebop, Princess Mononoke, Perfect Blue, Ghost in the Shell, Serial Experiments Lane, Yu Yu Hakusho, Revolutionary Girl Utena, Trigun, and Berserk.
I mean, nothing but bangers. Can I just say
I
that?
mean, this is unfair. He's biased.
What do you mean?
Look at your fucking shirt.
I'm wearing the Ghost in the Shell.
Joey is wearing a Ghost in the Shell shirt right now.
Yeah. I knew I had to pull up and represent.
Yeah. I mean, pretty strong list. I will say that it is a lot of sci-fi. I forgot how much sci-fi represented in the 90s.
I mean, it was such a good time for sci-fi in general, and all media, because technology was changing so fast. Internet was just kind of opening our world.
I would argue technology is still just changing pretty fast.
No, I don't think so.
No, but it was exciting for a lot of people because it was like the first step towards like, oh, things are gonna be digital now.
Yeah.
And we won't be able to tell the difference between the digital and the real.
I also feel like the leaps we're making nowadays are way less. Am I crazy? I don't think AI has changed my life more than the swap from a Game Boy to Nintendo DS did. That was way more impactful on my life.
2 screens?
I think the big difference is that before changing technology felt like it was a change that would make the quality of life better.
Yeah.
And now it seems like it has just felt like from 2020 onwards. Obviously AI is the big boom right now, but it's like every year there is something that is going to revolutionize everything, and it lasts for a year. First it was like crypto, and then it was like NFT, and now it's AI. And to be fair, I do think AI has the potential to enact some of the biggest change in life, whether that be positive or negative.
On my electricity bill, fuck.
But it does seem like every year, everyone is trying to jump on the new hot shiny thing in some kind of technology.
For sure.
But that's why I think, like, you have to imagine 1990s, like, this is just when the internet's kind of getting into full speed.
Yeah.
You know, instant messengers are becoming popular, I think around this time. You know, Google isn't out yet. It's coming soon, though. They don't know it yet. This kind of stuff's around
Is Google not out yet?
1996, I think?
97, right?
I think maybe
late
it was
90s.
in, like, beta?
98.
98, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, it is out, I guess.
Well, I mean, at the end.
At the end of
like, and I imagine like the internet as a change was probably the most drastic change. Well, not immediately, obviously, but that decade spanning over it became a much more prevalent thing in everyone's lives.
Yeah.
So I imagine there was a lot more, like sci-fi influence, inspiration, because we're all starting to use these gears and everything. This is back, and I love this. We have lost this art. You remember when every computer had to be green? Like green text on the screen.
The Matrix text.
Yeah.
And it's just such a cool vibe.
Yeah.
And now we don't do that.
Yeah.
Computers just look so fucking sick. And Ghost in the Shell, every computer looks fucking sick. It's all fucking green text, and it's like like the Matrix kind of like typography kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that kind of vibe's so good. And now it's just okay.
I will say right off the bat, looking at this list, is there any that you don't agree should be in the top 10? Regardless of where they are placed. Like, is there one where you look at it and you're like, I wouldn't put this in my top 10?
Berserk feels kind of out of place.
I was going to say that.
Berserk feels out of place.
I'm shocked that Dragon Ball is not up here.
Isn't Dragon Ball's 80s?
Was it?
Dragon Ball Z was
Dragon Ball
Z was the 90s.
Dragon Ball Z was number. Okay, so here, the rest of the list outside of the top 10, so we can see what could have made it. Sailor Moon, Sakura, Great Teacher, Onizuka, One Piece, Pokemon, Initial D, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Hunter x Hunter. I mean, Pokoroso, Digimon. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like a lot of these are a bit more deserving than
Berserk.
Like, Berserk is obviously one of the greatest manga of all time.
Yes.
Famously, the adaptations never really kind of reached the heights.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It's a great adaptation, though. I do like it a lot.
Yeah, I would say this is probably the closest thing to a good adaptation that Berserk has gotten. I mean, it adapts some fantastic moments. The soundtrack is goddamn orgasmic.
Yeah. See, but that's the thing. I don't know if Berserk being number
greatest
10 on
anime
this
OP
list,
of all time as well.
Yes, that is true.
God.
That is true. So put your glasses on. Nothing will be wrong, obviously. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I have a feeling there might be a slight bias towards Berserk being number 10 on this list. Maybe either because the manga is so goated. You know, as a story, yes, definitely should be in the top 10, maybe even in the top 5. Or maybe it's also anime fans looking at this retrospectively when compared to, say, like the 2016, 2017 adaptation and being like, oh, we never knew how good we had it back in the 90s, for example.
You know, and I know it feels so lame, but I mean, Pokemon just does deserve a spot.
I agree.
You know? Or like even Sailor Moon, I feel like over Berserk, which I feel like those I mean, just the cultural impact alone of those two shows.
Yeah.
Cock Up Sakura even as well, you know.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Such massive heavyweight shows that have gone on to have such massive legacies.
Yeah, I'd say the only kind of thing that is missing from this list right now that I do think defines a lot of 90s anime is actually fantasy anime. You know, I mean, Slayers is number 24, and I was thinking about stuff like Slayers, Escaflowne. You know, there's a lot of like, obviously like isekai has become a meme, but there was a lot of like 90s isekai before isekai was kind of like a Naro kind of like trend. Where it was just, you know, your classic 90s fantasy anime where people would get transported to another world, and it felt more like Narnia than it did the modern iteration of what isekai has like turned into. You know, Inuyasha as well had this kind of like element of that as well. Was that 2000s though? That might have been 2000s. I
think the manga started in the 90s, I believe.
Right. Okay.
The newer stuff has definitely got a bit of a different flavor to it than traditional.
2000 on the dot.
Just 2000 on the dot, yeah. So just off there. But the new stuff, it's almost like, I feel like there is a lot of new stuff that is going back to this kind of old school fantasy anime feel. Last year, I really enjoyed Clevitas, which was like a really cool dark fantasy. And this season, we have Sentenced to Be Hero, which is just like a by the books, old school classic dark fantasy.
Okay.
And dark fantasy is coming back, man.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
One, can we talk about Initial D? Why does it have so much aura? The show hasn't even done. Like, to my knowledge, there's not much Initial D stuff out there.
What do you mean,
manga
like out
or
there?
anime? Like, there's
you mean in terms of like source material?
right, yeah, like,
yeah.
But my God, this show is just
What do you mean there's not much source material out there?
There has the one show, right?
I mean, the one show has like 3-4 seasons,
right?
And there is a new like remake of it out right now.
But like this show in pop culture, especially in Japan, is like it's like a permanent mainstay from like 4 seasons of a driving show, drifting.
Yeah, because I think it's because regardless of if you're Japanese or Western, everyone can agree that drifting is just fucking cool. It's the coolest shit.
It's just sick that it's had such a massive like legacy, aura, if you will.
Yeah,
to be able to maintain.
I was like, what? You're just using the word aura now. It doesn't even make sense in this. What
Initial D has aura.
Initial D, the original aura farming anime.
What are you
when you
talking
go
about?
to the arcade, there's like 15 Initial D machines. You're like, that's aura. That's aura. Right
You're just
there.
using the word. You don't even know. You don't even know what it means. You're just saying aura. Stop
It
saying
has
aura.
It
doesn't have.
God, it has aura, and I won't be told otherwise.
It's just a placeholder word.
You can't just say everything has aura.
Initial D has aura.
Yeah. Color Captain Sakura has aura.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon has aura.
Sailor Moon as
Yeah,
well.
Sailor Moon. I'd say Sailor Moon has aura.
Also,
man.
wasn't Onizuka 2000s? Am I crazy? It's so weird that Onizuka is in 14th.
I think it's
and-
99.
Did it start in 99?
Yeah,
Ooh, wow.
99.
Damn, okay.
Okay, wait. So let's go back to the top 10. So we've been talking about everything that isn't in the top 10.
Sure.
Evangelion, sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop, sure.
Yeah.
This is the Citizen Kane of anime.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop. It's like, you have to watch it. Just look, you might not think it's the greatest thing ever, but just appreciate it for everything it's done. Princess Mononoke, I've never watched Princess Mononoke, admittly. It's
You know what this list is? You know what this list is? No. This is what we call Unk Slop nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Unk Slop.
Yeah, this is Unk Slop.
What is Unk Slop?
Have you seen the meme?
I made a whole video on this shit.
Unk Slop.
It's like that meme of like when you turn 34 and you can't stop talking about Unk Slop. No, the second one.
Okay, let's have a look. Evangelion, Diablo 2, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Resident Evil 4, Final Fantasy 7, Kingdom Hearts. That's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh yeah, we're just putting the word slop on anything now.
Yeah.
You're literally just.
I'm like, literally none of this is slop. It's like nothing
What
but,
is
it's nothing
Neff
but jams.
Slop? What is Neff Slop? Like nephew slop?
Yeah, nephew, I think.
Neff
What
slop.
the fuck?
Let's see
Yeah.
Neff slop. I'm curious.
Yeah, well, let's see the Neff slop.
Dan, of course.
Rerun, Ghost of Tsushima, JJK, Attack on Titan, Elden Ring, Arc
Runners.
Raiders, Edge Runners.
Elden Ring is nephew slop. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure.
I've never heard of Neff slop. That's awesome.
my god. That's
Okay, this is Unk Slop. Sure. All right, let's go back. Let's
go back.
I mean, Prince of Mononoke, it's always a show I've wanted to actually watch, though.
Oh, it is easily the best Ghibli film ever made. Like, no question. Reddit agrees with me. Well, what do you think when it comes to Ghibli? What do you think is better than Prince of Mononoke?
I really liked Howl's. Howl's is one of my favorites.
Nazca?
technically not Ghibli.
Okay.
Actually, it's just Miyazaki.
Okay. But it was.
But yes, it is amazing.
It was kind of like the founding of
Ghibli. Nausicaa, is amazing. I agree. Castle in the Sky, also amazing. Howl's Moving Castle, also amazing.
Yeah. I bought the Joe Hisashi vinyl, the yellow one. And that single-handedly has like kind of convinced me.
Oh, dude, the Princess Mononoke soundtrack, bro.
This vinyl is so good.
Yeah,
it just plays bangers from these movies.
The Princess Mononoke soundtrack is orgasmic. It is some of Joe Hisashi's best works, and I feel like, again, I appreciate Princess Mononoke above a lot of the other aforementioned Ghibli films because I feel like Princess Mononoke is probably handles its subject matter in the most mature way. Like, yeah, you know, Nausicaa and like Castle in the Sky and like even Howl, like, you know, they do present their themes in very mature ways where like even adults can enjoy it, even though, you know, for the most part, a lot of Ghibli is catered more towards, I guess, a younger audience, especially as of recently. But I think Princess Mononoke is one of the few Ghibli films where I think I liked it more watching it as an adult than I did as a kid.
Yeah.
Which I can't really say the same with a lot of other Ghibli films, maybe other than like Nausicaa. Yeah, Princess Mononoke, like the older you get, I feel the more you appreciate how fucking good the like just the execution of its themes are. Because like, you know, you also have to understand like when I watched this as a kid, because they're speaking in like 12th century Japanese a lot of the time, half the time I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I don't know this whole thing of like, you know, oh yeah, you have to save yourself in order to save others. Like, I'm like, bro, I'm 6. I'm just trying to watch some anime.
Yeah.
And I don't fully appreciate. I could still appreciate, you know, the amazing animation, like music and everything back when I was a kid. But as an adult now that I know the intricacies of how it presented itself in a more mature sense, I think Princess Mononoke is like one of the GOATs.
Yeah.
Would I put it above Perfect Blue though?
I don't think I would.
I mean, as
someone who hasn't seen the other one. No, I like Perfect Blue a lot.
I mean, I feel like both are masterpieces in films for their own. My personal preference goes more towards Perfect Blue.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna like. I think Princess Mononoke is probably the more widely appreciated, and both are fucking great.
It's easier to digest, I feel, compared to Perfect Blue.
I think because Perfect Blue's uncomfortable.
Oh,
I know Princess Mononoke has a lot of gore and violence, but Perfect Blue is a weird watch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's definitely one of those movies you have to go into it really wanting to have to, you know, feel and get your mind fucked.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
But that's also really fun though. Ghost in the Shell. Sometimes feels like a lazy pick because I rewatched it recently actually, and it is a fucking phenomenal movie. But it's also kind of a confusing movie as well. But it's very good, and the aesthetics are like second to none.
I'm glad you mentioned it because I was like, Ghost in the Shell is, you know, hugely influential for its time. Has it aged as well as some of the other picks? I'm not sure, because I mean, there are some like Ghost in the Shell franchises that I really, really love, like Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex.
Yeah, I was about to say I would rank Standalone Complex on this spot.
I love Standalone Complex.
Yeah, and that's you know, Ghost in the Shell, the original movie, as much as like influential as it was, I feel like it doesn't. You know, I wouldn't go back to rewatch it as much as some of these other films or some of these other picks from this era. Just because there is a lot of other stories that I feel does explore the same like feeling and vibe of Ghost in the Shell that may be built on the foundation that it laid down when it came out.
It has a rather, well, not anticlimactic. I mean, the ending is kind of like, oh, okay. What is one of those?
The movie, right?
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah.
But the... you know, it's kind of like everything that is the 90s, which is like, it's sexy and it fucking ends weird. Which to me is like the embodiment of like 90s movies and OVA. It's like, it's horny and I don't know what the fuck I just watched.
Hey boys, before we continue, I just want to let you guys know that this episode is sponsored by the good folks over at Vessi. April is the season of reset and re-entry. Longer days, lighter layers, more time outside if you touch grass. And if you are willing to go out there and touch some IRL grass, then Vessi has got you covered, because Vessi are the perfect shoes for any time of the year. Rain, sleet, snow or shine, April to November, all the way through to the next year. Vessi has got you every single day. And I can say this as someone who legitimately only wears Vessis. I have about 5 pairs of shoes in my closet. All 5 of them are Vessi shoes because they're just genuinely some of the best shoes I've ever worn. And you can also experience that by stepping into the brand new Vessi Weekend Neos. It's your everyday go-to that keeps up with changing weather, shifting plans, and on-the-go lifestyles without compromising comfort or style. No outfit stress, no weather checks, no overpacking, just Vessi. I mean, I personally have worn my Vessis pretty much everywhere. I took them across the world to all of the different countries that I've vlogged in, and I even wore them to Gant's wedding. Who knows, I might even wear them to my wedding as well if I'm feeling a little bit funky. Spring plans are unpredictable, but your shoes shouldn't be. These are fully waterproof, super comfortable, and honestly, the only pair that we've been reaching for. So what are you waiting for? Get 15% off your first pair at vessi.com/trashtaste. Plus, free shipping, 1-year warranty, and 30-day hassle-free returns. That's vessi.com/trashtaste. Back to the episode.
At least the first time I watched Ghost in the Shell, I was very confused. And the second time, still confused, but a little bit more like, yeah.
But you know what? You think back and you're like, damn, I don't know what, this movie, it's just the aesthetic. It's the vibe
It's
of it.
the vibe, man.
It's like, I think a lot about the scene where Major is trying to, in the final scene, she's trying to rip off the tank.
Oh, and she rips off her own arms?
Rips off her arms.
Yeah.
And I can see, like, that one scene alone always gets me so fucking pumped. I don't know why. It's so cool. So visually visceral to see the Major's arms, like, and like the pipes and the wires, like, rip apart.
The animation of it just like crumbling.
It's so cool. And I don't know.
The other scene I always think of when I think of the Ghost in the Shell movie is the scene where Major is fighting the invisible guy
in the water.
Oh,
yeah. So sick.
It's one of the coolest fight scenes in 90s anime.
Yeah.
Just so many iconic moments. But yeah, no, I do agree. Like, it's not exactly a movie I would necessarily want to go back to compared to, say, Princess Mononoke or Perfect Blue. But definitely a decade-defying show when it comes to, like, aesthetically speaking. Because I do feel that in the case with, like, a lot of the themes of Ghost in the Shell about, like, digital or like synthetic natures and stuff like that, and how that is related to one's identity. I think Serial Experiments Lane does it a little bit more in an interesting way. But I do also understand that, kind of like comparing Princess Mononoke to Perfect Blue, it is harder to get the average anime fan to like get into SCL compared to Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell is just more, I feel, appealing on a surface level than SCL is.
Sometimes as well, the aesthetics alone can carry something.
Totally.
Yeah.
And be like a genre-defining aesthetic.
Like,
I think a similar kind of vibe is Alien with its like biomachinery vibe, like from the Geiger art, where like all the spaceships are like blood and veins, and they're like, it's kind of a machine.
The cosmic horror element.
Yeah, and I think like it's it reminds me of the similar thing, but more on the cyber side of like the like really retro 90 style computers that obviously we did so fast.
Yeah.
But at the time, I'm sure that's what they're like, every computer's going to be like this.
Yeah.
So the whole world is kind of this really cool 90s. And I think it was, at least in anime, was like a really cool.
It's the whole like exposed wires and pipes aesthetic,
I love it.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why it's so interesting that like you see a lot of cyberpunk kind of like aesthetic, and it's so tied to just the Japanese aesthetic, because, this like, this kind of like got popular when Japan was like the center of like the future and technology, like peak into like the economic boom. And so it's just an aesthetic that has stayed to this day, even if Japan isn't as far in the future as it was back in the 80s and 90s, the kind of aesthetic is still stayed.
It's the unk that lives off his past glory.
Yeah, right?
It's like, back in my day, I did this shit.
Yeah.
It's my whole personality now. I'm happy to see Yu Yu Hakusho number 7, I will say.
Yeah, I feel like Yu Yu Hakusho, I don't know. It's an old, like, 90s shonen, but I feel like Yu Yu Hakusho is more in common with modern shonens than a lot of the shonens in between the 90s and, like, from the 90s to the 2000s and 2010s, because it's a little edgier. It's a little darker, I would say. Yusuke as a protagonist was, a little ruder, a little more out there than your, Goody Two Shoe kind of like shown protagonist, and I feel like it has aged really, really well. And I feel like people could appreciate it more now, even because I feel like with like the Dan Dans and the Chainsaw Mans and the JJKs, it has more in common with them than
also one of the best tournament arcs in anime.
Yes,
as well, 100%.
I think it deserves a spot just because every single time I go out drinking, this has to be the most. Normally, like every salaryman I talk to, they'll always mention the Yu Hakusho.
Oh yeah,
it seems to be the one anime that 50-year-old men in Japan love. That always, every single time. It's like I like JoJo, and they're like mid this Yu Hakusho.
I mean, dude, I would say Yu Yu Hakusho is probably one of my favorite shonens. Just in terms of just like, yeah, again, like the fact that it kind of starts off very much like more rooted in, I guess, the real world of, you know, just Yusuke as a ghost dealing and helping with, you know, everyday people's like struggles and lives. Like that's how the first couple of volumes starts. And then Togashi's finally like, let's actually put a story into this and turns it into this most fucking cool aesthetically and just vibe-wise sci-fi, supernatural.
I gotta watch it.
Yeah, dude, it's so
I only
good.
watched the first like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It's so fucking good.
And I guess we wouldn't spend too much like more time on this, but I do want to mention like Trigun and Cowboy Bebop specifically. It's like, damn, what happened to like the spaghetti space westerns? You know, why did anime go through like this brief phase of just like, all right, we're gonna make a spaghetti western, but we're gonna set it in space. And
I mean, fuck, they nailed it.
Yeah, they nailed it, and they stopped doing it. You know,
because they were like, we've already achieved peak.
We had a Space Dandy, but that's, I guess, more.
Yeah, I mean, that
was okay.
Yeah, I mean, when did Outlaw Star come out? Because Outlaw Star was like
Outlaw Star was also the 90s, I believe.
Yeah, 1998. Yeah.
God, Outlaw Star was so good as well.
God, that was so fucking sick.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've kind of, because even with the Trigun remake, it is more akin to a sci-fi than it is a spaghetti western. In my opinion. So it's just, we've just lost this vibe, and I would love for a modern anime to kind of like come back with.
Bring back a spaghetti western, man. I want to see like not even a spaghetti western. I want to see like a Clint Eastwood akin type of like anime.
Yeah.
You know, like just the classic western stories. Because I feel like western stories, like traditional like Clint Eastwood style western stories, kind of just get like tossed aside by a lot of like modern media consumers, just because it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's the same subject being told over and over again, or it's like an old formula that's been overdone in the decades. But like, I don't know, man. When you watch like a good fucking western, shit hits hard. I mean, I feel like the whole success of Red Dead, for instance, is like a perfect example of like westerns can still be thoroughly enjoyed by a larger crowd. It's just how you present that story, right?
Yeah, it's a tough genre. I think it's a tough. I think there's a lot of different. Because it's a period based on like a real time, right? So I think the stories are harder. I think that's also why samurai stories are hard to tell, because you have to root it in some kind of either complete fantasy or some familiarity in some time period, and I think that can sometimes make it hard. Where fantasy has this beautiful thing where you can just do literally whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Same with sci-fi, right? There is no historical context there that might weigh it down, or sensitivities that you deal with as a creator. So I think that's why samurai stories can be a little tough, even from like, you know, we've seen a lot of samurai anime. Not all of them are great. Like I think more often than not we get mid ones. It's rare we get absolute bangers.
Yeah, but can you imagine like a Samurai Champloo styled story, but it's a western? Don't tell me that won't go hard if it's done right.
That would be cool. I'd be down.
I don't even know if it exists. It might already exist, and I just don't know about it.
Isn't that just Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like minus the space.
Okay,
like rooted in reality, like Samurai Champloo was, right? I think it'd be cool.
Okay, so that's the 90s.
That's the 90s.
I would say a very, very solid list.
Yeah.
Very solid list.
Bangers.
I would say one thing that stands out before we move on is that it definitely has an identity.
Yep.
It's such a strong identity of like the aesthetic and the vibe of the types of shows that were.
It's also a lot of firsts as well, right?
Yeah.
Like because, or like, I guess the genre defining shows, like, you know, Ghost in the Shell, Yu Yu Hakusho, even Utena. Like a lot of those shows went on to influence so many shows in the 2000s, which I'm sure we'll see a bunch of.
Which now let's move on to the 2000s.
Okay. This is all looking more familiar.
It's so funny because, like, man, the tonal change and like immediately. So let me tell you let me walk you through the list.
Wow. Okay.
So the 2000s, the top voted anime by r/Reddit is
r/Reddit.
r/anime.
Yeah.
Is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. God, your favorite.
Yeah, your favorite.
Second is Code Geass: Lelouch of the Rebellion.
Base.
Number 3 is Death Note. Number 4 is Gurren Lagann. 5 is Clannad. 6 is Bakemonogatari. 7 is Haruhi Suzumiya. 8 is Monster. 9 is K-On! And 10 is Tora Dora. Now,
shit, did I make this list?
I will say the immediate like vibe shift.
Oh, yeah.
It went from 0 anime that included school to like 5 that are about school. Can we just like we appreciate that?
Yeah, that is a lot of school-based shows.
To go further down, number 11, Naruto. Number 12, Spirited Away. 13, Fully Cooley. 14, Spice and Wolf. 15, Baccano. 16, Gintama. 17, Samurai Champloo. 18, Mushishi. 19, Higurashi. 20, the original Full Metal Alchemist, then Welcome to the NHK, then Aria, then Black Lagoon, then Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, and finally finishing off with Ouran High School Host Club. Wow. And I would say this is a pretty, as someone who got into anime in this decade and this generation, I would say this is a pretty accurate list of what defines anime, the anime fandom of that decade.
Yeah, because you got everything, right? Because you got the classic shonens like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. You got the incredible storytelling of shows like Code Geass and Death Note. You have the huge rise of like the romantic genre with like Clannad. Yeah. You've got the Moe Blob movement with K-On! You've got the light novel movement with Haruhi and Toradora. Like, it's got everything that anime in the 2000s was known for.
Yeah, it's interesting looking back now how many kind of genres that we have to deal with today kind of really kicked off.
Gosh,
in this period.
This is the real Unk slop, man.
I love it, bro.
You know, I
love it. This is Unk slop.
This is Unk slop.
Maybe
for sure.
It's weird because this is when I kind of, you know, this is a lot of anime that I initially started watching when I got into anime.
Yeah,
but I don't look back very fondly on a lot of things.
No, like my immediate kind of like reaction with this list compared to the 90s list was the 90s list has such a powerful identity.
Aura, you could say.
No, it is not aura. It's like so many kind of like genre defining and like decade defining shows. And in this one, I'm just like, I just feel like it's like, oh, here's just like a collection of all baby's favorite stuff, you know?
Yeah, there is a sense that the 2000s list is kind of playing catch up with the 90s list, in a sense.
I don't know. I feel like it's a tonal shift, right? I mean, when you look at the violence, the themes of the 1990s, and then you go to this, and half of these are like friendship.
I feel like the 90s is already like, look at this list. It just feels cooler. You know?
Yeah, because Spike smokes. I'm kidding. He smokes. Like, that's
actually a
so
lot of characters in most of these shows smoke.
Okay, imagine if, like, you know, every time Light would write a name in the book, he just goes, fuck.
Cracks out a Marlboro, right?
Fuck, I didn't want to do that, Ryuk, man. Fuck, I don't feel good about it, man. I didn't want to kill that guy.
It's the because I feel like with the 2000s, it's always gonna have a challenge because aesthetically as well. This was when anime was going through a shift from kind of like, you know, analog to digital, and I feel like the 2000s was a decade where they like studios hadn't figured out how to use the new technology that they'd been given as effectively than like the 2010s onwards. And I feel like a lot of the aesthetics you're going to see in these shows are more polished in the 2010s as kind of like anime is kind of like figured out, okay, this is how we use digital technology to its fullest potential. Having said that, I'm just looking at the characters and I just like, we went from like some of like the cool fucking Spike Spiegel, like Giga Chads to now it's just like, Damn, a lot of teenagers, huh?
We literally went from absolute cinema to television.
Are most of these as well on the later half of the 2000s?
Most of them are mid, I would say.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, mid 2000s.
Most of them what, Joe?
Oh, sorry, mid 2000s. Let me not truncate that.
I mean,
mid 2000s.
Okay, let's have a discussion about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Does it deserve the GOAT status it had been given for so long?
I mean, look, it's fucking good. Like, I don't think anyone can deny. You could be the most jaded anime fan, and you can't say Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is a bad anime. Like, it does what it does very, very well. But looking at this list, I personally would put Code Geass over it. Just in terms of
What an edgelord. What an edgelord.
Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know.
Is that your anime of the decade? What's your anime of the decade?
With the 2000s?
Yeah.
I need time to think about that. Because I feel like, go back to the top 25. Because I feel like a lot of these can be contenders.
Yeah.
Obviously. And also, there's obviously going to be personal bias and stuff like that too. Like, for example, like Bacano's at 15. I would argue, I would put Bacano in the top 10.
Yeah, I would put Bacano in the top 10 as well.
I put Bacano in top 10.
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
Fully Cooley as well for me personally. I'd put it in the top 10.
I mean, there are some culture-defining shows here that didn't make the top 10. I would argue, Samurai Champloo in terms of cultural significance.
Totally.
It basically, has kickstarted what we see now as the lo-fi trend, which is
because the Nujabes, right?
Yeah.
Dude, and I've got the 2 vinyls, and I've been playing. Oh my god, non-stop.
Yeah,
they're gonna be worn down. They are so good.
They're so good.
And I guess it must have, that opening is iconic, and I feel like definitely helped, at least with the internet, of the proliferation of lo-fi.
Yeah.
Can't talk.
It's just the entire vibe just became its own thing outside of the anime. Like, there are people who listen to the Samurai Champloo soundtrack or watch the opening or know the characters without ever having seen the show. And I think that just goes to show you the staying power that is the identity of Samurai Champloo, for instance.
Yeah.
Shit. It's a bit weird for me that the original Full Metal is in this top 25 because I wouldn't put it in the top 25.
I can't believe they did the original
personally.
Full Metal and then so quickly after did the second.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Well, it's because they realized that they were like, this isn't exactly to the manga.
So, obviously, because I am not Japanese. When you were growing up, how big of a deal was Fullmetal Alchemist when you were a kid?
It was big, definitely.
The manga?
Yeah, the manga was obviously, I had school friends who were reading Fullmetal pretty extensively and enjoying the anime as well. And it was definitely a big anime in the 2000s. But I feel like much in the same way as, shows like Samurai Champloo or Cowboy Bebop or Fully Cooley, it was definitely more well-known in the West. I feel like the identity that it has become now online is mostly due to its popularity in the West, more so than how it was in Japan, for instance. Because
it doesn't feel that popular in Japan.
Not particularly, no. I mean, it is definitely popular. It's it's still incredibly at the time, more on the mainstream side of things.
As in, comparatively to other shows that seem to have such big staying power and prolific reputation.
I feel that's definitely due to the West, kind of adopting Fullmetal Alchemist as the gateway anime for a lot of people.
They're Shawshank.
Yeah, they're Shawshank, essentially.
I mean, the one thing I thought it always did very well is that it starts off as this really kind of, it's quite dark, right, with the mom dying, but then it quickly lulls you into a false sense of security. You're like, oh, it's going to be a fun little kid anime, and then the Chimera episode happens. You're like, oh god, and then people start dying. Like, oh shit, okay, wait, this is way deeper than I think it's going to be, or how it's going to appear. And I think it did a great job of kind of almost the arc that you would go through as a non-anime viewer watching anime for the first time, where you're like, this is cartoon, this is for kids. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's like that too. And then suddenly when you get into the show, you're like, oh god, there's some really fucking heavy things going on here.
Yeah, funnily enough, actually, now that I'm kind of thinking back to it, I feel like in the time that Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood came out, the anime, at least in the Japanese anime fandom in Japan, I feel like shows like Haruhi and even Lucky Star were more prolific and more well-known and more well-established than Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, because I think at the time, shows like Haruhi and Lucky Star were shows that were made specifically for that audience, right? Like, not very many people outside of the otaku community in Japan were watching shows like Haruhi or Lucky Star at the time, right? But Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood was, I think, in a lot of otaku's minds, a great show, yes, but also it was the shonen formula being done in the new generation or the new decade, if you will, which is not a bad thing because obviously, you know, as we can see here, the formula fucking works. But I definitely think it was more renowned and bigger in the West as the gateway anime, if you will. So, but like, I'm not complaining about it being at the top.
Yeah,
it's a good show, you know.
Also, can you go back to the list if that's okay? Can you go up to 90s again? All right. Okay, go down. I'm like, all right.
You comparing and contrasting?
Yeah. One big thing that has been an addition to some of the genre decade-defining shows. Cute anime girls.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
It's
2000s was the start of the Moe Blob movement with shows like Clannad, K-On, Toradora, even Haruhi to an extent. Like,
it's the waifufication of anime, you know, where before, you know, obviously we had shows like Ava, you know, that started a lot of, you know, or I would say popularized some of the character tropes that we see in modern anime. And then you really see some of these characteristics be refined in this decade to be like, okay, we're going to go completely Moe Blob. Or we have Toradora, which is someone who someone who is unequivocally tsundere. You know, and we also see Haruhi as well, and the explosion of light novel adaptations. Obviously, Bakemonogatari is up there as well. It's a lot.
Yeah, and I feel the reason why all these shows became popular in the 2000s was, at least in Japan, it was the meteoric rise of, you know, sites like Nico Nico that were taking a lot of shows like Haruhi, like K-On, like Toradora, like Bakemonogatari or Clannad, and were like either memeing the fuck out of it or were just in constant rotation of discussion on the internet and the online Japanese otaku community, because they were finally like, oh, we can actually talk about like cute anime girls now, yay. And it'd be a safe space because we're anonymous on the internet, you know. in a weird way, that is what happened.
As a fan of Bakemonogatari, Jerry, would you recommend it to people nowadays, or do you think it's kind of a tough watch to get into?
It wouldn't be okay if, for example, someone came up to me and was like, "I've never seen anime before."
Yeah, you know, Bakemonogatari.
Yeah,
really solid first.
I wouldn't be like, check out K-On, Bakemonogatari, and Haruhi. I wouldn't say that. You know, I would definitely, before anything, recommend like Brotherhood, Code Geass, Death Note, even Monster. You know.
I love Monster. I wish it was higher.
Yeah, I agree. I think Monster should be a lot higher. But like, you know, those would definitely be the easier ones to get into. And then if they fuck with that, then I would start to recommend, you know, maybe the Haruhi.
You gotta pass the check.
Yeah, you gotta pass the normie check, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta pass do you even fuck with this animation at all? Like at the base level. Like let's build the foundation first before I start to take you up to the upper floor.
Here's the thing. How many of these shows that are currently on the list right now would you think you could recommend to the modern anime fan over them watching stuff that is coming out right now?
Over them watching it?
Yes. Because that means it needs to be good enough for them to ignore what's current to be like, okay, I have to go back to experience this.
I mean, top 4, I would say. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Code Geass, Death Note, and Gurren Lagann.
I mean, I think the issue is that stuff like Bakemonogatari and Toradora, even to an extent, is that these shows that focus less on classic shonen or thriller aspects are a lot harder to recommend to people who are kind of getting into it, because they're you know, I think we're spoiled with the pacing and the level of action and hype that we get in these newer shows.
I can't convince the average JJK fan or, you know, Dragon Ball Z fan to go and watch Clannad and Bakemonogatari, but I could probably convince them to watch Code Geass or Full Metal. You know?
Yeah, I feel like the problem with a lot of these shows, and it hurts me to say this because these are the shows that got me into anime, is that I look at this list now, and for like, I think about half of this list, I'm like, there's like I think there were like modern iterations of shows that hit that same emotional beat that the show was going for, but they've kind of like had time to refine it. Sure. Like, let's say Haruhi Suzumiya, for example. The more time goes on, the more I'm like, I don't know how well this is aged compared to some modern anime. Because I think I watched like a few episodes of like Haruhi like last year, and I'm like, damn, was she always this insufferable sometimes?
Yes, she was. She was.
I was like, gun to my head, if you were like, Connor, you have to watch Clannad and Haruhi Suzumiya right now, I'd be like, pull the trigger. Like Haruhi is a rough watch when you're not 15. It's tough because it's only like slightly charming if you're young. Like it's like now we're like, bitch, shut the fuck up. And Clannad as well, like, dude, I think if you haven't watched Clannad, or if you only watched Clannad like 10 years ago, you forget how fucking annoying some of those characters are in that show.
Yeah, especially just like Clannad. Like Clannad After Story, it definitely works well with all the build-ups and everything.
Which is crazy, because we could be like, watch a whole fucking season of an anime to get to one good season of another anime, when I could just watch a good season of another anime.
Yeah, I think the only reason why Clannad is so well, placed on this list is because of the power of After Story. Like, if After Story didn't exist, Clannad would not even be in the top 25 for me. Yeah, and I think that's the thing, right? It's like, I think with a lot of these other shows like Haruhi or like K-On! Or like Toradora or even Bakemonogatari, I think it was the novelty of the fact that there was not really a show that was like this when this came out, and because it was such a new thing for anime fans everywhere, that's what got them intrigued and got them into it. But now, as Garn said, with given enough time, like given 20 years in some cases, to build off of these like more primitive ideas that these shows were exploring, it is a little harder to like go back to it.
Yeah. I think my personal favorite on this list of this year is probably Monster.
Oh, Monster is
Monster is such
Monster's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Just for Johan as a villain alone, he has aura.
Timeless.
Timeless.
Yes. Timeless. But like such a fun show to watch. And if you're looking for just a really cool show that has you on the edge of your seat, although it takes a little while to get there, Monster is definitely a show that you should watch. If you are an anime fan, you haven't.
Yeah.
I think personally.
Yeah.
It's very special. This episode is sponsored by Shopify.
Guys, when we started this podcast, we had to figure everything out on our own.
Absolutely.
From scripts to setup, filming schedules, logos, it was super overwhelming, and every day seemed to be introducing a new decision that needed an answer.
Yep.
When you're starting off with something new, it seems like your to-do list just keeps growing every day with new tasks.
Absolutely.
And that list can easily overrun your life. Finding that right tool not only simplifies everything, but helps you out and can be such a game changer.
Facts.
For millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify.
Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names to brands just getting started. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand's style. And you can accelerate your efficiency, whether you're uploading new products or trying to improve existing ones. Shopify is packed with helpful AI tools that write product descriptions, page headlines, and even enhance your product photography. Get the word out like you have a marketing team behind you. Easily create emails and social media campaigns wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. Best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond.
So boys, what are you waiting for? Start your business today with the industry's best business partner, Shopify, and start hearing ming. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/trash. Go to shopify.com/trash. That's shopify.com/trash.
Back to the episode.
I
guess that brings us on to the 2010s.
All right, let's see. Also from r/anime.
Yep. So number one, Steins Gate, Attack on Titan.
Okay, that is the most Reddit number one. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying
I love Steins Gate. I would not put it at number one though.
But that is what Reddit would put it number one. I know they would.
For me, like top two of the 2010s is like Attack on Titan and Mob Psycho.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So number one, Steins Gate.
Yeah, Steins Gate, Attack on Titan, Madoka Magica, Hunter x Hunter, Mob Psycho, Monogatari series, I guess. Even though Bakemonogatari was like the 2000s. Made in Abyss, Violet Evergarden, March Comes in Like a Lion.
Oh, you missed Kaguya-sama.
And Kaguya-sama at number 7. I'm going to say it already. This is better than the 2000s.
Okay.
I think already this is like a lot of these shows I would still be like, nah, this shit goes hard.
A lot of these shows I would be inclined to go back to more than the 2000s
Good question,
ones.
because the only shows I haven't watched on this list is, I believe, Violet Evergarden is the only one I didn't watch.
Yeah.
And it's a show that I haven't heard much about since after the movie. Do you think it deserves its spot as somebody who doesn't? I don't really know the anime. Would you say it?
Yeah. I'd say
it made me cry.
As somebody who hasn't watched it, but for whatever reason, was it even worth me going back today? And
yes, it is.
I think so.
That's my whole point of this
definitely.
list, where I look at this list and immediately I'm like, these are still some absolutely fantastic shows that
These are way easier to recommend than the 2000 shows.
And I would say even the 90s shows, because it's a lot it's such a unique experience that a lot of the 90s shows are easier to recommend than the 2000s show.
For sure, yeah.
I think the 2000s has a real identity problem where it's just a lot of the stuff it started, other shows have done better.
Yeah, 2000s were kind of the transitional period for anime, where they were trying to jump off the back of I guess the cool and edgy factor of 90s anime, while also trying to pertain to a larger crowd, but not knowing how.
Yeah, I mean,
then the 2010s was where they were they locked the fuck in, and they were all right, I think we've figured this shit out now.
Exactly.
So what didn't make the top 10?
Yeah, let's see.
Let's see.
All right, 11th is ReZero, Vinland Saga, Place Further Than the Universe, Silent Voice, Your Name, JoJo's, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood again, Fate Zero, Kill la Kill, Haikyuu, Ping Pong the Animation, Hibike Euphonium, Konosuba, Chihayafuru, and Hyoka. Wow.
Feels like a crime that Ping Pong isn't higher.
Yeah, but I kind of get it, because
it's a weird show.
It's a weird show.
But it's so good.
I'm happy that Hibike Euphonium's up there.
Yeah.
Hibike Euphonium definitely deserves a lot more praise, in my opinion.
Ping Pong's my favorite anime of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking good.
It's so good.
It's definitely
It's
up there.
so good.
I mean, fuck yeah, fuck me.
Oh yeah, banger after banger on this.
Banger after banger.
A lot less movies.
Yeah,
well, in the 2000s we didn't see any movies.
Yeah, what? I guess the
Other than Spirited Away.
art form the movie art form died. But I guess it did feel like, at least when I got into anime, I remember you guys too. Felt like a lot of the movies, at least that made it to the West, were more kid focused. As opposed to these older ones like Ghost in the Shell. We didn't get any of those, really.
I mean, I feel like this was kind of the decade where anime movies started becoming a thing. Internationally, but the big trend is not so much like Ghibli films or anime original films. It's now become shonen IP films that are the big money makers. And I feel like there's a lot more attention on IP films than now getting a big director to make a film.
Yeah, I feel like the 2010s was definitely more I don't want to say indie, but independently known directors' works, like Hosoda or like Shinkai, were really coming out of the woodworks with, Your Name, for instance. Which is crazy because we were talking about the 2016 trend earlier. I have a picture in 2016 of me standing in front of a poster of Your Name at the cinemas. And I'm like, holy fuck, that came out 10 years ago. That's scary.
Bro, we had Your Name and A Silent Voice both in the same year.
Oh, back to back. Amazing.
Oh, banger.
So let's go back to the list so we can have a look at the top 10.
Yeah.
Steins Gate.
See, Steins Gate is good, but it's one of those shows where I love it, but it's so hard to recommend.
It's also a show I've never, ever, ever, ever wanted to rewatch. I watched it one time and I was like, that was great. I am good.
Yeah. Look, it's because the first 10 episodes are so slow, even though the payoff at the end is amazing. But a lot of people, I feel, especially today, just do not have the patience to sit through the first 10 episodes of Steins Gate.
I don't know.
It's hard to recommend.
Am I undermining modern anime fans too much by saying that?
No, it's just, I don't know. Steins Gate is super weird for me because it's always one of the most highly rated on my anime list and r/anime specifically. And it's a great show. It's a fucking fantastic show, but it's never been kind of a personal favorite of mine above some of the other shows on this list, at least.
Yeah.
I can't put my finger why. I don't know why.
I think Reddit and websites like it, when there is a how do you say this? Steins Gate is a very like it is a story. Okabe, he's a guy. He's a smart guy, and he is going through some turmoil. And I think a lot of people don't get a lot of opportunity to feel those emotions through the characters that feel like they are similar to them. I think Okabe, is a very relatable person to someone who might, I'm not saying he's a fucking nerd, but like if I spend my time online, I'm going to see a lot more similarities to me with Okabe than I am with fucking Eren from Attack on Titan. And seeing him go through grief or through these like really slow burn emotions, it's like the peak I like anime, I have good taste thing, where it's like it has to be a slow burn, it has to be a tragedy, it has to be, a lot of intense emotions that really take a while to be told. I'm really bad at explaining the mindset.
It's like kind of it's like the groundedness of the character, right? That makes it more relatable and therefore makes the message at the end seem deeper.
Well, I would say,
I mean, it's it's a story about grief and loss, and it's something that we can all experience. And I think it's through a gut wrenching way.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I don't know how to like properly put this into words, but for me it's like the characters where they feel like the best way I can describe this is like the entire cast of Steins Gate feels very anime-y.
Yeah.
To a point where I feel like they are well-written characters and they are very interesting characters, but they are not, to me, they're not like a representation of the type of people you would see in like real life, Like let's say Mayuri, for example. There's no fucking girl going like fucking and even like fucking Okabe, his like larger than life personality, like
no, but that's the reason why Steins Gate, at least in Japan, was so fucking popular, is because you had these like incredibly anime characters like Mayushi, for instance, or you had these larger than life characters like Okabe. But I think a lot of especially Japanese otakus looked at Okabe and was like, I want to be like that.
I mean, that's what I was trying to get at, really. I think Okabe is a very relatable figure of someone who is maybe not cool, but in his own space and what he's able to do, he's able to kind of make a space for himself that feels like he belongs.
Which is what a lot of otakus, especially in Japan, were trying to do in the 2010s.
Yeah. And what
still doing it today.
What kind of anime viewer wouldn't want the girl that just goes do, I guess, and you just have the fat friend because that's what you have.
Yeah, and also that's
the fat friend who just makes memes.
Yeah, he just makes memes.
I mean, that's literally all he does. I can't remember anything he does.
What's his name again?
Fuck, I always forget his name.
All I know is that like it's just like he is the main character, and it is apparent that Okabe is the main character, and everyone else is kind of like
Hashida Itaru.
I swear he had a nickname.
Yeah, he had a nickname.
But it's like Okabe gets the hot
Can you click on his character?
Yeah. What the fuck was his nickname?
98
Daru.
98 characters, 98 kilograms, bro. There's dogs in his health report. I mean, it's like because he also then gets the beautiful woman too, who's ethereal, and it's like
I don't know why he's always like, even though this is like Japanese anime, he's always giving off stoner energy.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Look, he's a proactive otaku who's got a thing for both 2D and 3D girls. Talks quite a lot. He's like a super bad character. He's like,
bro, just like me for real.
Yeah. I mean, I like Steins Gate. I enjoy Steins Gate.
He's a Nichan user. That's right.
Yeah, of course.
That's right.
That's why so many people love him. Yeah. That's why Nichan loves Daru.
Yeah,
that's right.
Steins Gate is
sexual harassment. Sorry. So, you know what I mean? Like, I think it is a show that really does. When you are that's why I watched it back in the day when I had like my fucking Reddit online era. I felt like, damn, bitch, that's me. I want the hot redhead and I guess I want a weird friend that says do. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
I don't think it deserves number one. Is what we're trying to get at.
Yeah.
Look, it's great. I love it, but it doesn't deserve number one.
It's not my personal favorite.
I think it's a little overconflated.
But it is a very, very good show.
Yeah.
Madoka Magica.
See,
At number 3.
I love Madoka Magica, don't get me wrong. But I don't know if I'd put it above like Hunter x Hunter or Mob Psycho or even Monogatari. It would probably be in my top 10 though, I will say. Again,
I think just
this is
again,
another
strong aesthetics.
Yes.
You know, instantly recognizable, and an extremely popular twist that was like peak 2010s humor. Oh, you should watch Madoka Magica. Definitely watch episode 3.
It's a really cute magical girl show.
Yeah.
Just kidding, guys.
It felt like peak for that kind of time, that humor where we'd be like, scary maze. Play the scary maze.
And I feel like now it's just like the reason I'm like questioning number 3 is because like the whole like cutesy aesthetic versus very dark, depressing story. I'm like, it's kind of a cliche now, I think, if anything.
I mean, also, I feel like with the whole like deconstruction of magical girls thing, like, you know, earlier in the list, in the 90s list, we saw Revolutionary Girl Utena. I think Utena did it in a much more interesting way than Madoka did.
This was the decade where we could not stop using the fucking word deconstruction.
I know.
Hunter x Hunter is a deconstruction of shonen.
Mob Psycho is a deconstruction of harem.
Speaking of which, those two I would definitely put above Magica. Hunter x Hunter, Mob Psycho.
Yeah, I agreed. I would put Monogatari above Madoka Magica as well.
But
I also do feel it's kind of unfair to put the entirety of the Monogatari series, like, because there are multiple seasons here.
I watched so many of them, and man, I tried so hard to like that anime. I felt like a Reddit user. I was really trying my hardest.
Monogatari?
Yeah, I really tried to like it. I watched like 4 seasons of it. I just
Monogatari?
and at the end of it, I was like, damn, I still don't get it. I still don't know what the fuck I'm watching.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And I feel like there is sometimes, like, and I know, yes, I was a dumb kid, and I might not have forgotten a lot of things because I'm dumb as well. But sometimes there are shows that I feel like people rate higher because they're like, no, I get it. No, I get it. That's why it's in my top 5, because I get it and you don't.
Yeah.
No, that's valid. That's valid.
Do you feel?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, okay, I know you actually get it because you care so deeply about this series. But there are some people who like put it in the top 5, and I'm like, really? Really?
Explain yourself.
You really think it's top 5? You really think that? I would love to hear more about the Monogatari series from you.
I just, another aspect, for example, as to why I think the Monogatari series does deserve the praise that it gets is because, at least when it came to the anime adaptation of it, which is what's on this list here, Shaft and Shimbo Ariuki just did such an cool job of making it visually also incredibly unique. Like, you know, Shimbo Ariuki was doing a bunch of stuff with Shaft before Monogatari, you know, in the same aesthetic, but something about the dialogue and the characters and the weird vibe that Monogatari is just worked so perfectly with this incredibly weird and jarring visual aesthetic that it made what is essentially a series that is 95% dialogue based into something that was visually incredibly appealing as well, which is very hard to do.
Yeah, I think the attention to detail and the shots and the colors,
absolutely,
and the composition of every like frame in the show is so beautiful.
Yeah,
and I think weirdly it does like horror anime better than horror in the sense that like with the way they portray how uncomfortable some of these talking scenes are.
Yeah,
it's like so good. And I think horror anime would have benefited a lot from a similar kind of vibe.
Monogatari does tension incredibly well, even in a scene where it shouldn't be tense or scary, and yet it still somehow gives you that vibe of like, something's about to happen, and then nothing happens for the most part.
I would be the greatest anime opening of all time.
Oh, I mean, so many.
Well, that's 20,000.
Yeah, 20,000.
20,000.
I mean, in the year 20,000.
We also had Unravel come out this decade as well.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that might be the most iconic.
Yeah, we had some pretty iconic openings coming out.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Going online without ExpressVPN is like printing your social security number on your business card.
Damn, you're not meant to do that.
No, can't. You're just putting way too much personal information out into the world.
Oh, no, I did that yesterday.
God. You idiots. Use ExpressVPN.
Every time you connect to an unencrypted network in cafes, hotels, airports, your online data is not secure. Any hacker on the same network can gain access and steal personal data from passwords, bank logins, credit card details, and more. It doesn't take too much technical knowledge to hack someone. Just some cheap hardware is needed. A smart 12-year-old could do it. And your data is valuable. Hackers can make up to $1,000 per person selling your personal online data to the dark web.
Oh my God.
ExpressVPN can stop hackers from stealing your data by creating a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet.
In fact, it would take a hacker with a supercomputer over 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. Plus, not only does it help to secure your online activities, but it's also super easy to use. All you have to do is just fire up the app, click one button, and boom, you are protected. Plus, it works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay secure on the go.
So secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/trashtaste. That's expressvpn.com/trashtaste to find out how you can get up to 4 extra months. expressvpn.com/trashtaste.
Back to the episode.
I would say, like, in terms of like Monogatari, there are a lot of series that have the same vibe as Monogatari, but I still feel like Monogatari has the strongest identity in whatever the fuck that genre is. Like, I look at other things like Bunny Girl Senpai. It's not even deconstruction because Monogatari started it all.
Yeah.
And I feel like everything that's come after Monogatari has been more approachable.
Yeah.
Like it's good, it's given the same energy, but it's been a little bit more approachable, less weird, less out there. But Monogatari stands as still like the most kind of like recognizable in my eyes. Of like this is very Monogatari-esque, as opposed to this being very Bunny Girl Senpai-esque, or other series like that.
Totally.
Yeah, this is a banger fucking decade.
Yeah,
honestly,
I mean, all of these are amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, Hunter x Hunter and Mob Psycho may be my top 5, 10.
Yeah.
I mean,
Made in the Abyss as well is fucking amazing. March comes in like, I'm so glad March comes in like a line in this top 10.
The real question is, do you think the 2020s can eclipse this? We are halfway through. Well, actually, we're over halfway through now.
Yeah.
And what are the decade-defining shows so far? Well, we have obviously the big JJKs, Demon Slayers.
Yeah.
I know Vinland Saga's in the 2010s, but it feels more in the 2025s. I don't know.
Yeah, because Vinland Saga Season 2 is what really kind of like blew up in with mainstream culture with the I have no enemies meme.
Would you put Free Ren?
Yeah,
I mean, Free Ren's clearly a decade-defining show.
Yeah, for sure.
Orb was this decade as well.
Yeah.
We've had some pretty big
Chainsaw Man as well.
Yeah. We've had some big shows.
Yeah, we've had some amazingly like big shows, amazingly influential shows as well.
What year do we put One Piece in? Is it when it ends? they get it. They get the,
I mean, it was in the 90s list, right?
Yeah, it was in the 90s list.
Yeah,
but I guess the anime hasn't really been good until recently, apparently. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's interesting, isn't it? Is that it was in the top 25 of the 90s list, and yet it wasn't in the top 25 for the 2000s or the
One Piece is his own thing.
Yeah, One Piece, that's true.
It's kind of like trying to argue, Dragon Ball as well, where Dragon Ball as an IP is just, I wouldn't say it's like decade defining, it is just anime defining. And One Piece is in that category where it's
the medium defining.
Yeah, it's a medium defining show.
All right.
Yeah, like the 2020s has been pretty strong so far as well. Highest rated series of the 2020s so far. Let's see this.
Bocchi the Rock.
Bocchi's the Rock.
Oh yeah, fucking Apothecary
Diaries, Odd Taxi, as
Taxi, or
Look Back, Cyberpunk.
Oh, Edge Runners, yeah.
Delicious in Dungeon.
We have had a phenomenal 5 years.
Yeah, we have.
It's been really good.
I feel like the 2020, like I always say that like anime is as good as ever.
Oshinoko's rated higher than JJK.
Oshinoko is an 8.5. Are people rotted? What the fuck do they think? Are they dumb?
I also find it funny that JJK is the same rating as Chico.
That's valid.
Yeah, that's valid. Chico is funny.
Ranking of Kings,
Dun, Spy Family.
Yeah, I would say
Pluto.
Yeah, Pluto.
I would say the big trend I'm seeing so far with the 2020s is specifically with shonen anime, where it almost feels like shonen anime is the Fujimoto effect. It's just getting weird.
Yeah,
everything is getting weird. It is. Yeah. It is.
We got to make that a meme. It's the Fujimoto effect.
It's the Fujimoto effect. Like
me on my third beer.
Like you look at some of like the mega hits right now, and comparing like My Hero Academia to some of the modern shonens, I'm like, yeah, it's the last good kid, it's the last squeaky clean like fucking good kid.
Did you? We didn't talk about this when we talked about Chainsaw Man. Did you see that Reize was like based off like a Korean porn?
Yeah. I didn't see that.
Yeah. So Reize apparently, the design is literally based off of a Korean porn video. It's Russian?
Yeah.
He's watching a Russian porn? Bro, he's deep in goon territory. That is Freaky Moto.
Freaky Moto! Russian porn actress Hazel Rose is where Fujimoto's inspired for Reize's design.
That's crazy.
Can we bring up the image? Sorry, audio listeners.
Yeah.
We will confirm with our audio how accurate.
Oh yeah, there it is.
No, there's even the design of like the bomb girl as well. Like
what, really?
Yes.
Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah.
Yes. Well, let me see.
I'm taking piss real quick.
That's so funny. Freaky Moto. Freaky Moto. Oh man.
Reize design.
That is so funny.
Inspiration.
Someone must have been so deep in their porn.
Bomb.
They were probably about to jerk it to some vintage 2015 Russian porn, and then they see Reize.
It 100% checks out.
Yeah. 2013. Damn. And
this only got out. He only got out for this recently. There was some guy.
I saw they got pissed off at him, right?
Yeah.
I think most of the Korean fans got annoyed or something. I was like, why? That's based, dude.
As if we needed to know that he was just a pro gooner.
He is a fucking He's a level 100 gooner.
Look, I respect it. I respect it.
Hey, Freaky
not
Moto.
Not even the weirdest Fujimoto.
Freaky Moto.
Not even the weirdest Fujimoto thing that's come out.
Yeah, I know.
Respect Freaky Moto.
Which is insane.
All right, let's have a look at the overall then.
Overall. Overall, what do you think? What is the superior decade?
In terms of what? I mean,
overall,
each decade has its bangers that were defining, but if you let me pose it like this: if you had to only watch one decade, top 10, which one would you pick?
2010s.
2010s?
I think I would do 2010s as well, actually.
2010s was a
I want to say 90s, and I was looking at the list, and I was like, I like the idea of them more than I actually like.
Yeah.
And look, if Monster was in the 90s, I would have done it, but sadly it was 2004.
90s to me is a nice aesthetic. 2010s is so many stories that just define a person, I guess. Yeah. Holy shit. So many stories here that are just incredible.
It's a nice
There's some fucking heavyweights.
Yeah, it's also a nice mishmash of genres as well.
Yeah.
In the 2010s.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of all over the place. Yeah, I would probably say 2010s.
I'll take the aesthetic of the 90s though.
Yes.
I'll take the aesthetic of the 90s. And I feel bad. I'm like, maybe the Zoomers were right with Unkslop if Unkslop is like the 2000s anime, because damn, I'm looking at this list.
Hey, look,
like,
there's some there's some bangers on there.
There's some bangers on here, but it's just...
Don't talk about my Unkslop like that.
I love it. I look at shit like Death Note and Code Geass, and I'm just like, damn, this is...
Hey, look, we were cooking.
Code Geass is amazing, but it has so many flaws that it's hard to, say it's the pinnacle.
All right. Well, that was the best decade of anime in the past few decades, I guess.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting to look back on. What's the next medium of decades we're going to go through?
Video games?
Video games?
Yeah.
All right, let's check out video games then. So we're going to start with the IGN's Reader's Choice with 1.6 million votes.
Wow.
So IGN, 1.6 million people on IGN rated these 10 games as the best games of the 90s. They are in order: Super Mario World, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Super Mario Kart, Super Metroid, Donkey Kong Country, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Mario All-Stars, and Chrono Trigger.
Damn, there are some absolute bangers here.
There are some absolute bangers. However, right off the bat, I will say Super Mario All-Stars, I feel like it shouldn't count because that's just a bunch of the NES games from the 80s packaged into one game.
Yeah,
it's a lot of
that's like asking the top 10 albums of the year and then number 9 being a compilation of the greatest hits.
Damn,
like,
the 90s really loved the word super.
Well, because this is the Super Nintendo era, right?
Also, most of these games were, Nintendo exclusives.
Yeah.
They had it going, except for obviously the
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Let's go down a bit further in this list because it's a lot of like the same IPs.
So Super Mario RPG, Donkey Kong Country 2, Sonic the Hedgehog, Street Fighter 2, Champion Edition, Super Mario World 2, Star Fox, Mega Man, Mortal Kombat, Final Fantasy 6. Damn, Final Fantasy 6 didn't make it.
Yeah, I can't believe 6 is not in the top 10.
Super Castlevania, Punch-Out, Super Punch-Out, Secrets of Mana, Mortal Kombat 3, Mega Man X2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Donkey Kong Country 3. Yeah, I mean,
they're all fucking amazing.
Yeah. It is a crime that Final Fantasy 6 wasn't higher.
Yeah, I agree. 6,
Contra,
I would definitely
NBA
put
Jam, F-Zero.
in the top 10.
Okay.
Earthbound is so low. Fuck. My Earthbound.
Not a lot of people played Earthbound, though.
I know, but I love it. It's so good. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a tough year.
Decade.
Decade, because there are a lot of similar feeling games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also, it was such a competitive era as well. Like the 90s was when some of the most iconic today IPs were just getting started, if not, really like cementing themselves in. Like Mario, for instance, was huge. It started in the 80s, obviously, but the 90s games was where it really defined itself. But yeah,
I mean, these are just like the goats that went on to be goats as well.
Totally.
I would say this feels like, I haven't checked the other lists yet, but this definitely feels like the era of mascots.
Oh, yeah.
This is where a lot of, I feel like the marketing came around, okay, which mascots does your console have? Okay, well, we have the Mario and Zelda machine. Then we have obviously Sega with Sonic as well. And it's going to be interesting to see what other decade-defining games for like other ones as well, to see if there's also such a strong kind of like focus on which console has which mascots.
The problem when you ask 1.6 million people is that a lot of people aren't going to play some of the really fucking long games like Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy 6. It's easy to play Super Mario Kart and be like, yeah, that's the greatest game ever.
Yeah, that is true.
It's like, if you play the SNES Mario Kart, look, I mean, it's okay. It's a rough game to play now. I won't lie.
It is fucking hard.
It's hard
because you can't see anything.
Yeah, it hasn't aged as well as some of the other games on this list, like Chrono Trigger, immaculate. Donkey Kong Country, even though it's hard as shit, is still a beautiful looking game and plays really well. Soundtrack, god tier.
Yeah. I mean, all
Link
of
to the
these.
Past as well absolutely deserves to be up there. That's
my favorite
arguably
Zelda game.
the best Zelda.
Yeah.
We'll generally agree it's the best,
Super
it still
Metroid
holds up
as
today.
well.
Yeah, Super Metroid.
Incredible.
Super Mario RPG, so good. They just basically re-released it with a new coat of paint and it's just as good. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, I mean, iconic as fuck.
Yeah.
One of the greatest fighting games of all time.
Totally.
We got the famous, I think that's the Evo moment, right? Is that Street Fighter 2?
No, that's Street Fighter 3.
I thought it was 2. I'm cringing, stupid.
Yes. If I remember correctly.
I mean, there are obviously, some personal favorites of mine I would have liked to have seen higher. Like, I think Yoshi's Island deserves to be top 10.
2 Sonics on the list is crazy, though.
Yeah.
2 Sonics being in the top 10.
Final
It
Fantasy
was good.
6.
I mean, but come on.
Yeah.
I was never a Sonic kid, to be fair.
Me neither.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I played them much, much later on emulator and shit, but I never had a Sega console, so I don't have as much of a nostalgia to Sonic as some people do, but
I feel like Mortal Kombat, if anything, should be swapped out for one of these games, for given how iconic it was the era.
Totally.
But I mean, a very 90s list, a very safe list.
Yeah.
I am happy to say Chrono Trigger made it into the top 10 though.
That's good because that obviously wouldn't have been a game that everyone would have picked up or played as well, right? So the fact that it made it there is also amazing.
Yeah.
Let's go down to the 2000s then.
I'm sure we'll have.
Let's check out the 2000s.
This is going to be a very drastic change, I imagine.
Yeah.
So this is from Game
Still
Facts.
Zelda, baby.
It's from Game
Still
Facts.
Zelda.
Massive tournament style brawl for the game of the decade. But there are some games on here that weren't released in the 2000s.
Where?
Right.
We have a list that was released in 2000.
So this is the one that I was like, I didn't really agree with.
Yeah, because I'm looking at this,
That was
right?
tri-
Majora's
Chrono
Mask.
triggers that.
Majora's Mask and Ocarina of
Okay.
Time were the 90s.
Where's the
I'm
other
pretty sure.
list? Sorry.
So this is from the 2000s. Majora's Mask was from the 2000s, but
Was it?
Chrono Trigger was.
And Final Fantasy VII wasn't 2000.
Yeah.
Do we have a list that was actually from the 2000s?
It was kind of hard to find like a large scale one, but there were other lists just.
Sure.
Okay, let's go see some of the lists of games that actually came out in the 2000s then.
There was also like the top sales as well.
I'd be interested to see what the top sales are.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, naturally, yeah.
Wii Sports.
Wii Sports. Well, that's because it came with the console.
Also, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Go to the other list. The other one that you brought up. Yeah, what's this one? Okay, this is like... Okay, this is... I'd say this is pretty solid choice. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is top 15. And some notable... damn, Guitar Hero. You know what? I feel like it's a fair thing because that... To me, is the 2000s.
Yeah, that is the 2000s.
And the gaming, the peripheral mania, where everything had to have a fucking unique peripheral that slotted up your house. And it was like, but Mom, I'm going to get the cool controller. It's like every game had to have a gimmick because, they just figured it out. And dude,
Guitar Hero was one of those games
it
where,
was
like,
so good
if you
back
go
in the
over
day.
to like your
Dude,
friend's
so
house and
good.
you saw the guitar, you were like, "Oh, we're playing."
Dude, remember when Rock Band came out and it had all the peripherals and
Yeah,
you're like,
the drum set as well.
No fucking way.
Did you actually have any friends that had them all?
I had a friend who had them all. Yeah,
I had a
None of my
cousin.
friends were rich enough to be able to have all those things. So
Yeah.
I never got to play Rock Band.
See, it was like my older cousin, and that is like the big brother energy.
Yeah.
You go
Oh, I
to
got
your
you.
you go to your bro's room, and they're like, no, you got the whole set.
it's like, do you want to be guitar or drums today?
yeah. Oh man.
It's hard to argue that a Guitar Hero doesn't deserve a spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the top 10. I think it's fair.
And we just scrolled past it, but we had Call of Duty as well.
Yeah.
Modern
Modern
Warfare.
Warfare. And Half-Life 2 was up there.
Yeah. I'd say that the 2000s.
Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead.
Okay, let's read out. Left 4 Dead
Number 15.
at number 15. Res, not heard of that one.
I don't know that
Wii
one.
Sports.
Fire.
Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. Shadow of the Colossus.
Fire.
Guitar Hero 2.
Fire.
Silent Hill 2.
Fire.
Elder
Oblivion,
Scrolls.
wow.
Oblivion. Zelda Majora's Mask.
Yep.
Bioshock.
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty.
Okay.
Halo Combat Evolved.
Yep. Deus Ex.
Day X.
Okay.
The Sims.
Yeah.
And Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
It's crazy how many things on this list came out like right at the start of 2000.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these came out in the first half.
Yeah, it's so weird because I look at the 2000s and I would say there are so many like IPs that started in this decade that we're still seeing today, Obviously like stuff like Mario and Sonic have been around in gaming forever, but a lot of some of these IPs are still around today that got popularized in the
Halo's dead, man.
it's still around.
They killed Halo. Bro.
It's still around.
Killed
It's
Halo.
still around.
Did you see? They are remaking Halo 1 again.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, Halo 1's already been remade once,
Okay.
and they're remaking it again. I'm not kidding.
Jesus Christ.
Look.
The remake of the remake?
Yes, they're remaking it, and they're removing things.
Oh my God.
There's no multiplayer in the remake.
What?
It's just campaign.
What? Isn't that the whole point of what made Halo fun?
Yes.
That's stupid.
Yes.
Why would they do that?
Because they don't know what to make, Joey. They don't know what the fuck to do anymore. Why is that?
Jesus.
Why is one of the questions?
Is there LGBTQ in Halo? Felicia was a lesbian.
What the fuck? Who's Googling this? What kind of stupid ass gamer are you when you Google this thing? Just fucking play it.
Well, I mean, 2000s, at least according to this list, was definitely, the moment where, like, Japan was still and it's was developing great games, but this is where the West really locked the fuck in.
Yeah.
Well, there was absolutely a stagnation in Japanese, outside of Nintendo, the Japanese game industry, and like especially late 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a big struggle to find reliable games that were performing well.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's only recently that I really feel like Japan has really come back to form with just releasing bangers from multiple studios, not just Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
And even Nintendo, when during the Wii U era, absolutely was in the gutter. So it was a good 5 years where Nintendo was off everyone's radar.
Yeah.
Call of Duty was in full swing. FPSs were crushing it. RPGs weren't doing so hot outside of Japan.
I feel like there are some games that might not have been represented on the 90s list. When did GoldenEye come out?
Yeah, that was 90s.
97, I believe.
Was that, when did Final Fantasy 7 come out?
97. No. Yes.
Yeah,
97.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought, because some of these weren't on the 90s list, and I'm like, why? These are some decade-defining games.
That's a good question. No.
Because we basically
gamers don't know ball.
Yeah, we basically went from this list. We basically went from SNES, skipped N64 and PS1, and went straight to the PS2, GameCube era.
True.
And I would say like there are some big games in the N64. When did Super Mario 64 come out?
98.
It's also harder to play.
No,
as
96.
It's like a lot harder to keep up with every good game than it is to watch every good anime, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's just easier in general to watch the top 5 anime every year than it is to play the top 5 games every year.
Yeah. It's because I'm looking at this list, and I feel like the 90s list, IGN Readers Award, you just missed off an entire fucking generation of games.
Yeah, N64 is not there at all.
Yeah, N64 or PS1 is not there at all, which I think is unfair. Because I feel like the 2000s, looking at this, which is, I think, a pretty accurate representation, this is when you start seeing the start of like online gaming. What do I think when I think 2000s gaming? Call of Duty fucking lobbies.
Man.
Danny
G.
Danny G from Birmingham, yeah?
Danny fucking G.
I'll break your fucking legs. That was peak, man.
Classic.
That's again like the Modern Warfare 4. Call of Duty Modern Warfare is what really kicked into gear the 2010s gaming culture. Like that. Yeah. That is so pivotal in everything that followed the next 10 years.
Totally.
And Call of Duty is still riding on that legacy. It is still making a yearly Call of Duty that sells well.
Yep.
Still. I don't know how. I don't know a single person who plays COD. I'm pretty sure it's all ChatGPT buying copies to play it. I don't know anyone who plays it.
My sister's fiance is like a massive Call of Duty.
I understand
he buys like every single one.
I understand like the Battle Royale one that's really popular, but I don't understand the yearly COD that they pump out. I don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel after Modern Warfare, it wasn't as much in the zeitgeist as it was back then, right? Like, it still exists, obviously.
Modern Warfare 2 was like peak COD.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
That was when it was,
like, literally every one of my friends at school had Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, because that was that. And then right after that is when I think it became so mainstream that the following cards were all the double XP, get your Monster Energy drink from the store, get your pack of Doritos.
Is that around where, like, Ghost came out?
Ghost was the Xbox One when that came out. So it was COD, this one, COD 5, which was Black Ops, COD 6, which was Modern Warfare 2, and then it was Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2 was also pretty large, right?
Sorry, I'm getting confused. Modern Warfare. Black Ops 2 was huge. Black Ops 3 was, I think, maybe the most popular one.
Right.
So it was Black.
Yeah, 2015.
Let's have a look at the. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, then Ghosts, then Advanced Warfare, and then Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 is really good. Advanced Warfare and Ghosts were kind of aight, though.
I haven't played any of them.
No, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I played a bit of Modern Warfare 2 and 3 when I was in school because, again, every one of my friends had these games.
But also, I mean, it's hard to understate how popular COD Zombies was as well. Like World at War, when that came out. COD Zombies was such a fucking massive, like, explosion.
Yeah.
God, it's so defining.
Yeah, just looking at this 2010s list, 2000 list is fucking, banger after banger.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Totally.
Wii
Sports, I still play that shit every Christmas with my parents, and we get just as sweaty and hyped every year. That shit is in like 720p, but we're like, I don't care.
Yeah. What's the list when we get to the 2010s? Can we see the 2010s?
Let's check out the 2010s list.
Check out the 2010s now.
Okay, so this is from GameFAQs. Community voted Game of the Decade 2010 to 2019 bracket featuring 128 games that users nominated and voted on in daily polls. So from number 1, we have Breath of the Wild, Witcher 3, Smash Bros. Ultimate, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, Dark Souls, I assume 1, Persona, or maybe the entire series, I don't know. Persona 5, yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles, Red Dead 2, Mass Effect 2, and Minecraft. Huh, interesting.
Damn, Minecraft just about made the list.
Yeah, right? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Damn, what's crazy is that, okay, Hollow Knight beat Tales of Berseria, understandable. But then Hollow Knight lost to Final Fantasy 15.
That's crazy.
Wow, I can't imagine that.
That is crazy. 15 was so mid. It was so mid.
What is Tales of Berseria doing on this list to begin with, man? Why was it why was it part of the bracket?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hollow Knight had an easy dunk there.
Yeah.
Damn, Borderlands 2 lost to Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm actually shocked by that.
Huh.
I liked Horizon Zero Dawn though.
I did, but Borderlands 2 was great. It was like the one good one.
Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Bloodborne lost to Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
That's hard to imagine because I feel like, damn, that's the Resident Evil remake of 2, right?
Yeah, it must be.
I can't imagine what the fuck were they smoking in that year where they felt like Bloodborne lost to Resident Evil 2.
Yeah,
that's crazy, right?
That is true.
What a game is smoking. Right? That's nuts.
it is a bit weird.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Resident Evil 2 is a phenomenal game, but Bloodborne is the game that your one friend won't ever shut up about. You've probably got like 5 friends that won't shut up about Bloodborne.
Also, I'm going to say Octopath Traveler 1 winning against Undertale.
What's crazy is that Octopath Traveler lost to Shovel Knight. Like, Shovel Knight's a great game.
Yeah.
But come on.
I mean, yeah, but like, Octopath Traveler 1 was just all right. If it was Octopath Traveler 2, understandable. But I think Undertale was a better game than Octopath Traveler 1.
Yeah, what do you think defines this decade of gaming?
Oh, certainly Grand Theft Auto 5. That's
GTA
crazy
5
that it's not on this list.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
we are in a Grand Theft Auto world right now. Grand Theft Auto 5 is still one of the most popular games. Minecraft, still one of the most popular games.
Yeah, but it lost to Persona 4 Golden.
Which is insane.
That's great. Look, I love P4, but I can't say it's a better game than GTA 5.
There is no metric apart from maybe if you're a deep anime fan, GTA 5, you could honestly look me in the eye and tell me Persona 4 Golden deserves it. You just can't. You know what I mean? You just can't in good faith say that to me.
Look, I just feel like whoever's running this list or this tournament arc, there's a bunch of weebs because Ori and the Blind Forest lost to Fire Emblem as well. It's basically, it goes down to like anime versus anime.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. Like, yeah. Look, like Persona 4 Golden winning against GTA 5 was already insane enough, but then it lost to Xenoblade Chronicles.
Look, Persona 4 Golden lost to beat Red Dead Redemption as well.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I just don't know about that.
Yeah.
So,
also,
yeah.
Even like this division, like Cuphead. What an amazing game.
Cuphead beat XCOM 2.
XCOM 2 also a fucking amazing game. One of the only great strategy games that in a genre that has been stagnant for a long time. And it did such an amazing job.
Yeah. Which decade are you going for then? Because
dude, it's hard.
I mean, here's the thing, right? So the 90s, we have a bunch of foundational classics that have shaped gaming today. 2010s, we have a bunch of nostalgia, a bunch of weird games, but they are basically pushing it in the direction that the 2010s ultimately solidifies and finds their niche for what will be the titans: Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto, Super Mario Brothers Ultimate again. Persona. These are like the really big games that finally get into their stride, I feel like. And truly at this point we are in like, the apex of nowadays, the popularity of video games and the pop culture recognizability of each one.
Also, the 2010s has the massive advantage that the other decades don't have, which is like the rise of the indie scene. Like, we had so many fucking, like, just based on the last thing that we saw, like the brackets and stuff, even though they lost ultimately in the bracket, like, just, you know, some of the most fucking genre-defining indie games, you know, like Cuphead, like, you know, I think I saw VVV there as well. Like, you know, it's much smaller, but just interesting ideas for video games that have come out.
I think even in the 2020s, we'll see even more indies.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. Some of the best games I've played have all been indie.
Yeah.
100%. Do we have a list for the 2020 so far, or is that?
Did Soma come out in 2019?
I think it was 2010s.
That would be in my top 10. Easily.
Yeah, that would be my top 10 as well.
I still need to work my way through that one.
It might be my favorite game of the 2010s. Might be.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like I look at the list and it's just, if I had to pick a decade out of all of these, it's hard. But I'm like, I feel like the 2000s had so many like foundational classics as well, and this was the PS2 era. This was an era where I feel like AAA, you know, the AAA studios were actually like pulling through, and we didn't have to rely on like indie games and I feel like the more that time has gone on, the more that obviously video games got more popular, more commercialized, the more that you looked at like these big studios and they just weren't delivering the same bangers that they used to, and now that's why the indie game scene is so big.
True.
And yeah, I the PS2 fucking GameCube era, man, that to me is like peak.
It might be slightly rose-tinted glasses, but also we had so many good games come out.
We had
so many good games come out in the 2000s, bro. God.
There is just too many good games, I think.
There's just too many good games.
I feel like it was the era where game development wasn't so expensive that, you know, we had to wait like fucking half a decade between new game releases. But
I mean, I think that's where indies have been really pulling their weight and kind of showing like, look, you can make a game that sells bonkers without needing to have 500 staff work on it. You can,
totally.
Even Sandfall with Expedition 33.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that team was quite small.
Yeah.
And they made arguably
and Silksong,
the most accredited game of all time.
Yeah.
Accolades. I don't know what the fuck.
Well, the most awarded. The most awarded game at the Game Awards.
Awarded. Totally. Oh my God, yeah. That was a rough Game Awards to watch there. And the winner is Expedition. Okay, all right.
Again.
You start to feel bad at a certain point. You're like, even if I was winning that many, I'd be like, all right, guys, fucking.
Can we not?
That's just embarrassing.
Yeah.
It looks bad, guys. Come on.
Yeah. If you had to pick 2000s, you'd say?
I would say 2000s.
I think I would say 2000s as well. Just, again, there might be some nostalgia involved in that biases, but my God.
Nah, let's go 90s.
So many bangers. Well, 90s as well, dude. Like, I have a lot of...
Super Mario 64.
I have some of my favorite games of all time were from the 90s. And, you know, I lived through that shit as a kid, and some of the most replayed games in my rotation is from the 90s. So, yeah, you can't hate that shit. For sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hard tie, I think, between 90s and 2000s for me. As good as 2010s gaming has been.
It's ironic that the medium that is obviously based on so much technology, that we're like, nah, the old ones are better. Nah.
Yeah. that retro era, bro, has a charm to it that can't be replicated.
Limitations, you're right. Limitations breeds, you know, creativity. Totally. I think a lot. And, I feel like I think there is a reason why a lot of the IPs made in these eras are still being sold to us as kind of like nostalgia to be like, hey guys, there's a new Halo coming out, guys.
Why do you think we haven't seen any gacha games on the 2010s, Grant? Do you think we'll see any in the 2020s list?
Well, gacha games didn't really get big until Genshin, which was 2020s.
I thought that was 2019.
It might have come out in 2019, but
obviously it like really got its stride.
It got its stride thanks to COVID. When did Genshin? And Genshin,
2020.
No.
Do you think-
Oh, on my birthday. Sick.
Damn. Woo. No, because as someone who was aware of the gacha space, before Genshin, it was basically just gacha game was a lot of just, mobile
PNG,
games.
yeah.
PNG kind of mobile games. And Genshin kind of like changed everything to be like, hey, here's a game that feels more like your traditional AAA game that has gacha mechanics on. And obviously it was fucking the money printer that
took
it
over
was.
the world.
And yeah, I mean, the gacha space is very, very different now. To the point where I don't know how much it has defined the era of the 2020s.
Yeah, it's almost in its own genre, isn't it?
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
Even though it is so well known and is so well, all encompassing now that anyone can pick up a gacha game and start playing it if they wanted to. It's usually for multiple reasons not included in the conversations of the goats. Even if the player base is so massive and the money it generates is so, extravagant.
Well, it always wins the Player's Choice Awards.
That's so cringe.
In the Game Awards.
It also does
so
birth
cringe.
some of the most rabid fan bases too, for better or worse, so.
It is interesting. They do cultivate fan bases that are pretty aggressive about their game.
Yeah.
Yeah, tribalism in the gacha space is massive.
Why is that? Why do you think that happens? You think it's like a sunk cost fallacy where it's like, I put so much time and money into this.
A lot of money's on the line.
I got to make sure everyone thinks this is cool.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's the because it's easy to look at it and it's easy to be like, oh, a person has put this much money into it. But I think the biggest thing that gacha games cost you is time. It's really, really hard to play more than 2 gacha games. If you're playing 3, I just assume you're unemployed. Because the time investment you need to sink into it to do multiple dailies and keep up with multiple quest lines and all the updates to come out, I'm like, where are you getting the time from, brother? Where are you getting the time from?
It's like you wake up and all you play is gacha games until you fall asleep.
Yeah, it's like you are adding a part-time job on top of your full-time job.
Yeah.
If you're taking on 3 or 4.
True.
I don't know how some people do it.
Unemployment, eh?
Yeah.
All right. Last but certainly not least.
I'm ordering our coffees, Joe.
Okay. Well, you do that while I talk about the next topic, which is movies, film, absolute cinema. So we're going to start with the 1990s. This is IMDb's top 250, which ranks films using scores from millions of user votes. These are the highest rated movies of the 1990s, and we only have a top 10 to go off here.
Yeah.
So from number 1 to 10, Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, Fight Club, The Matrix, Goodfellas, Seven, The Silence of the Lambs, Saving Ryan's Privates, and Schindler's List.
Wait, which website was that one on? I don't remember hearing that one.
You never watched Saving Ryan's Privates?
Shaving Ryan's
Privates.
Okay.
I love that movie.
Hey, Ryan, a little freaky.
I mean, look, nothing but bangers, I will say. Is there anything in this top 10 you guys haven't seen?
No, I've seen all of them.
Schindler's List.
You never seen Schindler's
never seen
List?
Schindler's List?
No, I've never seen Schindler's List.
You've been on so many Schindler's Lifts in Japan.
Yeah.
There's so many. Sorry, that's I don't know. I would. There's a company.
There's a company
called Schindler, and I'm sorry. I will ever be 5 when I see it because it's Schindler's Lift that I go inside of. And
there's a brand called Schindler that makes lifts.
There's so many Schindler's Lifts.
What is Schindler's List?
What is
Wait, okay, you be serious? You know?
I don't know.
Have you never heard of Schindler's List?
No.
So Schindler, from okay, I'm trying to lock in here. Remember, Schindler owned a factory that employed a lot of Jewish workers during the war, and basically, it's a very long movie. You should go watch it. Ralph Fiennes, one of his best performances of all time.
Liam Neeson
and
as
Liam
well.
Neeson as well. He basically uses his connections as a kind of a business mogul at the time to basically help save a bunch of Jewish people. And he has a list that he's like, we need to go save these guys.
Okay.
I am very giving it extremely bad.
I mean, you hit off all the points, I guess.
I just know it's Spielberg. It's sad. World War
the entire
II.
film's in black and white.
Yeah, and that's all I know about it.
Yeah.
Ralph Fiennes plays the Nazi officer in it, and He is so good.
It's one of those movies where it's like, it's so emotionally gut punching that even though it is an incredible film, like an incredibly powerful film, I wouldn't say it's a film I would go and rewatch.
Oh, I would. It's actually such a good film.
Really?
Yeah.
I just can't.
It's
I remember.
as fuck, but
yeah,
it's
the
such a good
first
film.
time I watched it, it was like it's such an amazing film, but again, I just get so emotionally drained afterwards that I'm just like, oh, I can't watch this for a while.
And the whole movie's black and white, except for one moment.
Yeah.
One moment that has a bit of color. But it's honestly, it's a really good movie, and it's great because we're being a product of the 2000s, 2010s. My association with Liam Neeson is, you have 10 minutes to tell me where my daughter is, or I'll be very mad. That was kind of like Liam Neeson was kind of forced into these roles. Where, in this one, he does such an amazing job.
Yeah.
And it's such a good film. So please watch this.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go to the list. I think honestly for the movies, it would help us more to look at the totality of all of the decades at once rather than talking about each individual movie, because we could easily get lost talking about these movies.
Yeah, so that's the 90s, the 2000s.
Oh my God.
The top 10 films.
Rightfully so.
The 2000s is Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, The Dark Knight, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Spirited Away. I was about to say Lord of the Rings, The Twin Towers for a second. I was like,
could have been
decade-defining towers.
It was the 2000s.
Number 5, Spirited Away. Number 6, Inception. Number 7, Gladiator. Number 8,
wait,
Memento.
I just realized something weird.
What?
Look at the 2010s and look at 2010s to 2019s. Inceptions, I guess because it came out in 2010, is in both.
Oh,
what
weird.
the fuck?
But except in in the next year, it is suddenly number 1.
Yeah,
But in the previous year, it was number 6. So clearly, rating-wise, 2010s is better movies.
Yeah. I mean, I can already see the difference. Okay, we'll go down. So the movies in the 2010s that are the highest rated is number 1, Inception. Number 2, Interstellar.
Yeah.
Number 3, Parasite. Number 4, Whiplash. Number 5, Django Unchained. Number 6, The Intouchables. Number 7, Avengers: Infinity War. Number 8, Spider-Man: Into the Spider-Verse. Number 9, Wolf of Wall Street. And number 10, Mad Max: Fury Road.
I mean, that last decade is the weakest.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's some great ones on there. Whiplash, Parasite, Interstellar.
I've never seen Parasite or Whiplash.
You should watch them.
Yeah,
I do want
good.
to. I do really want to watch them. Yeah,
Great.
I think
Interstellar is such a good movie.
What's The Intouchables?
The Intouchables is a French film.
Okay, I've never heard of it.
Les Enfants Terribles.
Intouchables.
Yes.
I've never even seen this film before.
Yeah, I've seen this one.
Is it?
Oh, it was 2011.
Isn't this?
Is it good?
It's really, really good. Yeah, it's about a guy who takes care of someone who is paraplegic.
Right.
And they just form a friendship. And it's like a lifelong bond. And it's great. I don't know. One of those like life-affirming, life-touching films.
Right.
All right. Well, look. This decade is the weakest out of the three for sure. I think the 90s is the best one. You know what?
Maybe, who was it that said that superhero films was...
Scorsese.
Maybe Scorsese was right, you know?
I just, look... no. I just can't, you know? Like, The Dark Knight, I allow it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a superhero film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when we're getting into, like, Spider-Verse, Infinity War, I'm like, I don't know, man.
I mean, I enjoyed Spider-Verse.
I like it a lot. But
Spider-Verse is great.
To look me dead in the eye and tell me it's a top 10 film, like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. It doesn't have the... I don't know. Especially when you compare it to the 90s list, it just doesn't have that... I don't know. The conviction that it's like, yeah, this is like a top 10 film. You know what I mean?
Like, I mean,
it is like decade defining because I feel like it's weird that
animation this decade is the Spider-Verse animation.
And I would say this decade is most definitely defined by superhero films.
It will be, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We're in the worst decade.
For better or worse.
Yeah, for better or worse, this the 2010s was defined by superhero films. And Yeah, I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is a fantastic film, a animation marvel, but comparing it to some of the classics of previous decades.
Yeah, when you scroll back up to the 90s list.
Look, The Departed, which is like number 9 on the 2010s, is like, it'd be probably like top 3 in the next decade.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. I mean, but just like look at this 90s list.
The 90s list is disgusting how good
insane.
this is. This is a run.
Totally. There is not a single film here where you're like, maybe not.
My God.
Any one of these films, except for maybe Schindler's List, would have been a poster you'd had in your room growing up.
Yeah.
This is still a generational run.
Totally.
I would say, damn, like
most of my favorite films ever are on this list.
How do we get this list? Because I would be interested to see what the 80s are, because I feel like the 80s would have an equally strong list as well.
Top movies of the 80s? Let's see.
Yeah, top rated movies of the 80s, IMDb.
Do you feel like movies get worse every year?
Is cinema falling off or...
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, E.T., Ghostbusters, Star Wars, 16 Candles, The Shining, holy shit, Raging Bull, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Do Your Own Thing, The Princess Bride, The Thing, oh my God. The 80s.
Terminator,
The
Blade Runner.
80s is also fucking goated as well. My God. Give me that unk slop, man.
Oh, dude.
Give me that fucking unk slop. I will take these any day of the week.
Hell
man.
yeah, dude.
Damn. Holy shit. Films were popping
Never Ending
off.
Story, Akira.
Akira was the 80s. I was wondering why it wasn't on any of the list. I was like,
Yeah, 88.
No, yeah, it's the 80s.
Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, I would say looking at the list, I don't know. How can I sum up each decade?
Well, 90s would be just the cinema-defining cinema.
Cinema.
Absolute cinema would be the 90s.
Yeah.
And then 2000s would be, I guess, scroll down to the 2000s. 2000s would be kind of the start of, I would say... See, I don't even want to say it's still cinema.
Well, in the 70s in cinema, we had the epics, right? They were the ones that they would like literally kill hundreds of animals to do the like, elaborate scenes and stuff. Like they were like, it was an epic. Like they were like 3 hours.
Yeah,
they were ridiculous, and we got that in the 80s. And the 90s, we got more of these, like the Goodfellas. We got the Pulp Fiction, a lot more like
character driven,
smaller, not as epic, but amazing stories.
Yeah.
And then we kind of get, I feel like The Dark Knight and Lord of the Rings are like the harbingers of what is to come.
Yeah.
Because Lord of the Rings is, I guess, the first like modern epic, really, I feel like. The 3-part giant saga. It's about as epic as it gets. Leading into the 2010 superhero boom.
I would say that...
Dark Knight as well, the Dark Knight trilogy too.
I would say that the 2000s is kind of the decade where there is one IP that is not on this list that I think had a massive effect on the film industry. It's Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like I look at Lord of the Rings, The Dark Knights as some of the top movies of the 2000s, and thinking about Harry Potter as well. And I'm just like, this is where you kind of see that shift to like more IP focused, like mega IP focused films, which would eventually blossom into like the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we see in the 2010s.
My kid's gonna think I'm so fucking weird. I'm like, no, you don't understand how big Harry Potter was. He's like, what are you talking about? I don't watch that old shit, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it was everywhere. It was the only thing we could think about for 10 years.
I don't want to watch that onslaught.
Can we Google what are the top grossing films? Because I think that would be pretty interesting
in the
as well.
2000s?
Because these are the top rated on IMDb's. But what are the top grossing films?
Oh, just of all time?
Of the 2000s.
Avatar, bro.
Avatar.
And that was
Pirates of the Caribbean as well.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, Avatar.
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean,
Harry Potter,
The Dark Knight,
Pirates,
and more
Finding Nemo. Classic. Shrek.
Yeah, what are the top grossing films of the 90s? That's what I would be interested in.
Titanic.
Jurassic Park, Star Wars, Episode 1, Lion King.
But this was also when they started realizing the value of merchandise as well.
Yeah.
which I think Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, I guess
Damn, Men in Black was one of the top grossing films of the 90s.
do you remember that? That was like
that was everywhere.
when we were growing
I
up.
do remember. I didn't realize it was one of the top grossing films of the 90s because it beat out what, Terminator 2?
And Armageddon.
Yeah.
Aladdin,
That's insane.
Toy
This is
Story
when
2.
movie budgets are under
Twister.
100 mil.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, honestly, the 90s has like the 80s and 90s has a generational run. I rewatched Fight Club recently.
Oh yeah.
Because Sydney had never seen it. And it's so weird.
It's very weird.
Rewatching a film like Fight Club with recontextualized in like the modern zeitgeist.
Right.
You know?
like alpha males.
Yeah,
shit.
like alpha males.
Yeah.
And the post like Andrew Tate world. It's just, it's really weird because I feel like it's still like an incredible film, but it changes the way you view a character like Tyler Durden. And I would almost like feel like, Fight Club was a very, very interesting film when it came out in the 90s, but now it's kind of almost become more relevant in capturing some of like modern culture in a way.
Totally.
Even if I think a lot of people misunderstand
the point.
the point of a character like Tyler Durden.
Totally.
It was super surreal.
Yeah.
And also,
I haven't seen it in so long. I feel like I should rewatch it again.
yeah.
Probably a good rewatch, to be honest.
Yeah.
It is a very, very good rewatch. I would highly recommend it because damn, you hear some of the stuff that Tyler says, and you're like, damn, no wonder like so many alpha males take his words like quite literally, because it really does capture an anger and frustration in society.
Yeah.
Damn. But
And
I think we like the 90s though overall.
Yeah. When it comes, I mean, like again, that top 10 list is just such a generational run of movies. Like, it's hard to argue against that.
Do you know what I miss? I miss Tom Hanks films. Like
He did one not too long ago that was okay.
what was it?
Come on.
Oh, something about happiness. What the name was? The
Phoenician?
He's not really in the Phoenician. He's
Asteroid City, A Man Called Otto.
a beautiful day. That one I watched. Wow, that was 6 years ago.
That was 6 years ago.
Holy fuck. Oh wait, no, sorry. That's the not this one. I apologize. That's the
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah,
film,
sorry, wrong one. That was the Mr. Rogers one. I got confused. He did another movie that came out recently where he starred in it.
No, what I mean specifically is just this kind of like the Tom Hanks kind of like emotional, life affirming kind of film.
Talking about like the Castaways.
Yeah,
and
like the
Forrest
Castaways,
Gumps, right?
the Forrest Gumps.
Yeah.
I
The
think-
Green Miles.
Green Mile.
Yeah.
I think
Catch Me If You Can. You know what I mean?
We're
I
not
get
in an
it.
era of hope, Grant. We're in an era
miss
of depression.
I rewatched Forrest Gump on Christmas, and I didn't realize how it's not even like set on Christmas, but how good of a Christmas movie it was.
Yeah.
Just watching it and feeling like hope and joy in humanity, and feeling like
we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, there's no like the 90s had so many, and the 2000s had so many of those hopeful human dramas that have like a happy message or an affirming ending. Like, you don't see those anymore.
Even something like Shawshank, a movie about someone going through a pretty terrible situation. It's like so fucking hopeful in its messaging, and it's just aura, I guess.
Although I do like 2010s films. It's modern day Robert Pattinson movies. All very good. I like them. Good Time, Lighthouse.
True.
I like those movies a lot.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We're getting the A24 film. That's kind of become a meme as well.
Yeah.
A24 films. And some of them are, complete garbage, but some of them are really fun.
Yeah, I do agree.
We're in an interesting time. We're seeing the dichotomy of big, giant blockbusters.
And then the art housey
the
films.
art house ones, which I think have realized that we should just make movies for less money.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a solid idea. It seems to be working out pretty
it seems
well.
to be working.
Hey, the movie doesn't have to do that good because you only gave you 20 million.
Yeah.
So good luck, man. Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Worst case scenario, we'll just sell it to planes. And they can put it on the antenna system.
Yeah, I mean, I would say like right now movies are either like superhero movies or they're just doing their own thing, weird stuff.
Yeah.
The genre pieces are definitely like much more stronger. I feel like in this decade.
The art house biopics are like the big shows right now.
Hoping Christopher Nolan's Odyssey is good.
I mean, I'm hoping it's great.
I'm hoping. I'm a little worried.
Hopefully.
The cast seems interesting. But, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. But hey, there you go.
Let us know.
That was our 90s versus 2000s versus 2010s video. Let us know what you think.
Every decade won awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
In a different medium. We didn't even plan that.
Congrats.
Yeah.
So basically, it's all up to your interpretation.
Yes.
Let us know down below. Which decade was your favorite?
Yeah.
Hey, look at all these patrons, though. You can let us know what decade was the best in each one of them. And while you're at it, if you join us over on the Patreon, then not only will you be supporting the show, but also every single week, you get to check out a Patreon-exclusive weekly content. We have a brand new one that you guys can go check out right after this one. Mudan, play a clip of that.
Hold up. I'm cooking.
Yeah.
Okay, 12 damage. I play Feral.
Feral, useless card. We love it.
No, it's not
useless
Omni
Slice. Wait, that's huge. Wait, the Omni Slice is huge.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I got Omni
nice.
Slice again. And then I'll defend.
So Feral actually isn't useless now. It's actually not terrible in your deck.
I don't know. Like I said, Connor, you keep saying useless card, and it's just like...
Okay, it's actually good. It's actually good. All right, I'll take it back.
Yeah.
Whatever. Hey, if you want to check that out, make sure to go to patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us some memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.